So 2019, we get to June, my mom-in-law is diagnosed with cancer. So now we go through the motions of trying treatment here and there. So for some reason, my dad also, because he's going through cancer treatment, but it's not working. So then we are told just for context, my dad's mom was from TZ, and then my dad's dad was from Coast. So my dad still has family in TZ. So my auntie now in TZ tells us about, no, actually a friend of my mom's told us about some treatment going on in TZ. So then an auntie of ours, of mine, now also tells us about that treatment. So long story short, we make a decision. We take my dad to TZ. So we get into the car, me, my mom, my dad. We go to TZ. So we drive all the way to TZ, all the way to Dar es Salaam.
Wow, that's a long trip.
It's a long trip. But at that point, money-wise, that's the only thing that's making sense. But also, the other reason was, because of his condition, we need to be able to make stops on the way for him to rest or stretch or to use the loo and things like that. And also at that time, my mom had a back problem. So also you need to, as in you just need the flexibility. So the car is the only thing that made sense, because if you're using public transport or bus, you can't keep on telling them you need to stop, you know.
And the chums to fly is not
there. Yeah, there's no chums to fly. So we drove down to TZ. We took my dad there. We stayed with him a few days. He started treatment, so he was staying at my auntie's house. So then we came back to Nairobi with my mom. Now what I didn't realize later on, and it's important for spouses, because when you're taking care of a sick person, you know, you forget yourself. Then even you now, you can become sick, like it's deteriorating to your own health. So when we came back now, my mom was able to breathe. Because now at least my dad is being taken care of in TZ. So this is, I think, May, June. So now on this side, him is gone to TZ. My mom-in-law, we're still continuing with my treatment, nanini. So in between, at some point, my mom, again, and myself went to TZ. So my dad, nini, came back. So we go along. Then sometime in now, the beauty about, you know, there are people who usually do projects and then they keep everything to themselves. For me, for some reason, I always find a reason to tell a few people about the projects that I'm doing.
Yeah.
So one key person I told about this project was Tim Rimbui. So
Innovator.
Yes. So sometime in, I think, June or July, Tim Rimbui tells me, Dorothy Getuba is looking for you. I've told her about what you're doing and she wants to talk to you. But for me at that time, let me tell you, you know, you see the way you've reacted? Me, I can't react like that because I have so much pressure on this other side. So there's that excitement of what it could possibly be. But considering what I've gone through, I can't really be that excited.
And considering what you're going through now, where you are.
Yeah. So Dorothy reaches out. She says, I've been told that you've done a movie. Can you send me a one-pager on it? You know, so I sent a one-pager. Then I even sent an outline for like a few pages just to describe what the movie is about. Nini. So then she writes back to me later and she tells me my colleague called Ben will be coming to the country sometime in was it August or September? September to meet content producers. So I'm planning meetings for all the producers. So I'll give you a slot to present. We say sawa. So in the middle of all this, in fact, I even remember on that particular day when we went for this meeting was in Sankara on a certain weekday, and there were a lot of people presenting their content. So we went, myself, Eduji, Lucas, and my wife Betty. That time, we were supposed to have gone to see my mom-in-law. I think at that time she was in Hosi or something. Yes, she was in Hosi. So we missed out going during the day, and so the plan was we go for this meeting, then we go in the evening. So we went, we met with this guy Ben from Netflix. So we presented.
Yeah, you said that one just running through. Just say it again. He said Netflix.
Yes,
Ben from
Ben
Netflix.
From Netflix. So
Ben from Netflix. So basically, let people know who Dorothy is.
So Dorothy is the, I don't know if I can't.
The curator for content
for Africa
on Netflix.
Yes,
in Africa.
So
from Africa.
Yes. So at that point, she was handling, the way I understood the structure was she was handling series. Because remember, she dealt like even with Queen of Sono in South Africa. Then her colleague Ben was handling movies. So that's why Ben came to Kenya, because Kenya was more about movies than series. So we presented to, so Eduji had done an edit for like about a 7-minute edit. So we presented to him, then we told him the story. Now, backtrack a bit. While the three of them had always been thinking of Netflix, I had always been thinking of theater. Because for me, it was about looking at how many numbers can we hit of Kenyans in theater compared to Kenyans on Netflix. And because now the numbers for Kenya on Netflix are not publicly available, you just go with what the number that people have said. And at that point, it was less than 30,000. But me in my head, I'm thinking, here, we can hit much more with theater.
Yep. So remember, this is Netflix before Netflix has come to Kenya, before they've done the free subscription or that thing, that whole promo.
Yes. So for me, when I was talking to the investors before, my pitch was mainly that we'll sell theater tickets.
Oh, that was the ROI for them.
Yes. And I'd done my calculations, but now I had to put my calculations much higher than even I thought they would be. And this is the reason. Because Kenyan films don't do well in the theater, then the kind of deal that you get in the theater, and this is not to blast the distributors or the theaters, it's the reality on ground. So let me say it so that also Kenyans understand. For your movie to go to the theater, you don't go directly, except like Anga Cinema. For the rest of the theaters, you go through a distributor. Then the distributor takes your movie to the theater. When they take your movie to the theater decides based on what other content they have, the timings they'll give you. So they can give you Thursday at 1 p.m. But uko theater. So now it's about how do you push. Now because they don't expect a lot of numbers from you, they'll tell you maybe they'll give you 2, 3, 4 days only and just see how that does before now they extend it. So they'll never promise you that it will be in the theaters for long.
And revenue share now? Now
revenue share is where now the real deal is. So here's the thing. When the revenue comes in, when you go to the theater and pay, the theater collects the money.
Yes.
They remove taxes. From the money they collect, from what remains, they take 50%.
50?
Yes.
And
then they pass on the 50% to the distributor. Then the distributor splits that with you.
And so
basically you're getting 25%. So from a ticket price of let's say 500 bob, you're getting slightly over 100 shillings.
And are you able to track the numbers where you know you're not conned?
Faith is important. I mean, I've never experienced it, so I wouldn't know, but I guess faith is important. So that's one of the challenges that the industry faces.
But on the other end, if 1 million people went to the cinema, that's 25 million bob that you're making from your movie. And 1 million people should be going to the cinema to watch a 500 bob movie. Or we can't accommodate that.
We can't.
What does Spider-Man do? in Kenya?
I think I had figures of about, was it 150,
No
150,000? I don't think any has ever crossed over 200,000.
Okay.
We're just not a theater culture, whatever people. And nothing, not blaming Kenyans or anything.
Yeah.
We are just not those kind of people.
I get it.
Also,
And
the theaters, let me give you context. There's a producer in Nigeria who complained that when they launched their movie, they were not able to get all the cinemas. They only got 100 in Lagos.
100 in Lagos.
Sisi 100 in Kenya hatufiki.
Okay.
I don't think 20 tunafika.
Yeah, neither do I.
Yeah.
Okay, makes sense.
So we present to Ben.
I mean, Village Market doesn't have a cinema, does it?
I don't know if they.
No, now they do. No, they don't.
I don't know if they do.
Village Market.
They used to.
Yes,
I don't know if they
but
do.
think about it. A mall of that scale, in the suburbs like that, does not have it used to back in the day. Now it's the bowling and the kids center and all those things. There's no cinema in Village Market. That should be the center of where a cinema is, and because of the target audience that's there.
So we present to Ben. Now, by that time, because I'm starting to get these numbers, I'm starting to see, okay, Netflix might not be such a bad idea.